always like a good tune. And I've been listening to these different kind of remakes. I don't know why. Kind of vintage remakes. And this is a good song. Hi everybody. I hope that you are doing okay, and thank you for tuning in tonight. I am going to do the thing that I need to do. I need to finish this painting, and I need to finish it for a couple of different reasons. First of all, I do want to say that sometimes when you're on a journey to understanding yourself better, or healing some parts of yourself that you know are wounded, and you start something like art therapy or this process of thinking about who you are at this point in time. What's interesting is that it's so much more than just a painting, which is why it's taken me so long, because things came up in my emotional self, especially after I burned those rocks. So I think that was in like the second video. I'm not sure. I'm looking for my glasses. Anyways, I do want to share a couple of things, and along the way, I am just going to do some art and share some of the things that I've been learning in the process of getting ready for getting this done, because this picture, for whatever reasons, is necessary for me to complete so I can become my next vision of who I want to be. And that's one of the things I've been learning, that, I really believe that what you think about is what you attract and what you become. And I have been really intent on creating a picture of my life and how I want to be and who I want to hang with. I've just been intent on that forward moving momentum in my mind versus staying stuck in the past. Anyways, a couple of things that happened to me along the way, and I'm just going to get some of my paints out. I think I'm going to put a little music on, because I'm feeling like, I don't know, it's just too quiet for me. Hold on. Let me get some of my lo-fi groove, which is pretty, lame in terms of musical depth, but just wanting a little background noise. First of all, I hope you guys are doing great. And I'm really, really happy that you are still here and taking care of yourself and are alive. So first of all, I collected a few more things along the way. I definitely have some things I'm going to be gluing on, and I'll be sharing with you what those things meant to me. I found a, fortune cookie. I found an old picture. This is an old picture of like my very first boyfriend, Steve Kowalski. I didn't want to stay with Steve because he came from a family of like 18 kids, and I knew I was never destined to have that many children. But anyways, there's an innocence about that memory that I have been really appreciating, like the innocence of connections that are pure like that. Whatever they are, old friends. And a key that has a queen's scepter, of course. So let me tell you what some of the interesting things that happened to me, especially after I did the sacrificial burning of those individuals in that stone burning thing. I started to go through, I'm getting ready to move. I don't ask me the details yet, but I started to go through all my stuff because I hate traveling with a lot of stuff. And I just don't want a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? Until I find my home. Then I'll get lots of stuff. But right now, I'm not there yet. So, but I'm going to move. And I started to go through everything, and I came across some very interesting memories, which triggered, which in and of itself triggered a lot of stuff. So let me share the first thing I came across, which was, you'll see in here, this is a letter that has been ripped up, and obviously it represents something very emotional for me, and I'll be happy to share with you a little bit about what that is. Years ago, when I started to think more honestly about, how trauma in my early life had affected me, I was going through all of my stuff from my past, and I ran across that letter. And this was about almost 18 years ago. No, about 15 years ago. And in that letter, which was typed by my mother, she was, telling me really awesome things about who I am and really being very loving. And it was probably for some kind of church thing. I don't know why she wrote it for me. And it's 2 pages typed, so she had very nice things to say about me. But inside that letter, there was also 2 sentences. And I'm not going to talk about what those sentences were, but what she said in those sentences was sort of like an apology. And that apology triggered like a memory, a chain of memories for me of things that happened to me when I was 5 years old. And they were not good things that happened to me. Not by my mom and dad, but whatever it was in that letter triggered an opening for me of the truth of how my abuse early in life had truly affected me until even today, okay? So when I came across this thing a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh my God, how far have I come since I first discovered that letter? And I've come a long way. I mean, I've come a long way. And that is the cool thing about personal growth. On one side of me feels like, golly, have I really come that far? Because I'm still working on the same shit I've been trying to work on, it seems. And then another part of me goes, girl, look at what you did. You healed. I think that. Anyways, I've just been so grateful about my own personal progress. And as I recognize that, and I just feel more and more authentic in who I am when I see how far I've come, in spite of the pain of that letter. But that letter was important for me to find. Sometimes, when you get a letter that changes your life, and there's a reason why. This letter opened up truths that I needed to see and heal and not be ruled by, right? In my subconscious ego self. So that was the first thing that happened. So do you understand why it's a little hard to come back and just kind of paint, because there's all this healing stuff going on. And I'm very grateful because I asked for it. I asked for it on this portrait painting journey. I do want to keep healing and be whole and balanced. So the next thing that happened was, which was really, really important for me to happen, I found a letter, another letter, but this was later. Like, this was a letter written by my dad, and I don't even know where I put it. His handwriting is so hard to read. But this letter was very important for a couple of different reasons. My dad, in all honesty, was kind of a jerk. He was, he was all around good guy. He was a football coach when I was young, became a vice principal of a high school, and then became principal of a real big school district. So he's a good guy, my dad. Civic leader, church president, and all that. The problem with my dad is he was also a dick, okay? Because he came from, a history of patriarchal preference, He also struggled in expressing his emotions. So he would use silence and withdrawal and little techniques of breadcrumbing to my mom, which is so strange that this dynamic was going on, especially when my mother was a director of a mental health agency. So they had this, there was always kind of tension when he was in a bad mood, but he was never abusive in any way. And even though we didn't have a lot of time together, a part of me knew he loved me, and I appreciated that. They were always good to us, and they always took us on vacation. So it was a good family, but my dad, he just treated my mom poorly, and I learned from that. And I've been reflecting on this stuff a lot because I finished up my book, and my reflections are in the book. So what happened, the letter from my dad actually was a letter when he had a nervous breakdown. And I mean a nervous breakdown. He was about 55. So I went, and he was in the hospital for several months, and everybody supported him in the community, It was a life-changing event for him and for all of us as a family. Because it was like truths started to spill out of his mouth. Truths about his wounds from the past, about his own abuse. And in the letter that I found from my father, it was a letter that he wrote to all the kids, and I remember distinctly that it was one letter addressed to us all, and we were having a family session after he got out of the hospital. And my father went from this guy who, watched the NFL draft to reading poetry and suddenly breaking out in tears and confessing, this was a changing man. And I am so thankful for his sake, because he became more of who George Reish was supposed to be. But more importantly, I had the chance to watch a man face himself. And it was uncomfortable sometimes, and I wished he would go back to being my strong, protective dad sometimes. I was like, get over it. But my dad had a lot of inner wounds. on top of being a man who had been conditioned not to know what his feelings were, and if he did, not to express them, right? Isn't that the man code? Don't touch them, don't express them, and don't touch them, those feelings. So my poor father, I'm telling you, until the day he died, it became an adventure because, and I really am grateful for this, because without his willingness to break down beliefs and assumptions, and I mean, he went through it all. He went on a spiritual journey. Without his willingness to do that, it healed our family in many ways. So basically in the letter, I keep going around. In the letter, he apologized. He said, I want to acknowledge that I have not been the man that I should have been to your mother and even to you. And I'm in the midst of discovering things about myself, and I want to apologize to you. For setting that example as to what a man is. My father said those things. Which is why I know that is inside every man. So those significant things, and I had to think about that a little bit, I had to really appreciate that about my dad. And there are a lot of things about my dad that really fucked me up, if you want to know the truth, especially when he was a dick. Excuse my language. But I'm also grateful that he showed me that that there's a pathway for healing. And that is a good message to receive in your family, even if it's not perfect. No family is, right? So that's what I've been kind of processing, and all of that brings up feelings and memories, but mostly it's been clearing the slate for me, like really a fine distinction between the energy that I grew up with, which was kind of a misuse of power, all kinds of things, an energy that was always holding me back, giving me messages that there was something wrong with me. It's just so time to get over it, right? Plus, those of you who are on spiritual journeys are knowing that this is a time to get freaking ready. Because if you want your life to go, it's now. As a light worker, not only as a healer, as a creative, if you tap in now, there is awesome stuff happening out there. Everybody in my world feels it. They're like, do you feel what's building? It's coming. Not to say that the world is not difficult, but find the right tribe and you will survive. It's my new motto. Okay, folks. This is going a little bit better. Now, I know it's starting to look like a little Mother Mary thing. And I do love Mother Mary. For whatever reasons, even though I'm not Catholic, she has been very involved in my life, especially in matters of the heart and in matters of when I'm feeling lonely and scared and, you know, vulnerable. Mary has always been a wonderful gift for me. So what I'm going to do here, I still am very intimidated by the whole face thing. I have no idea what's going to happen there. I do know that this means something and this means something in my being. I don't know what it means, but I'll be painting something in there. That I know. So, let me see. What else is going on? What else is going on? I'm sure, like you all, it's getting a little rough to, you know, be at home all the time. So I've been getting out. I got my vaccine. I have no qualms about vaccine living. It's part of the price of living on the planet. So I'm ready to go. Go. You know what I mean? Go. Oh, I like that. Look at that. I might have to do that again in a different color. So now I'm going to glue some stuff on here. Like I said at the very beginning, I had a feeling this was going to be one of those kind of Alice in Wonderland thingy-doos. So, you know, we're just going to go with the flow. I've been kind of in a weird space, like how to balance. Oh, that is not what I wanted to have. Crap. Because it has to go like that. The number 8 to me is kind of infinity energy, which I like the idea of infinity. The X for me is particularly profound because some of you know I'm an energy healer, and I don't know, sometimes when I'm healing, I see the letter X. It says, heal there, go heal there. So the letter X. We all have our little things, don't we, that make life amusing. Keep us going. I have also decided to practice what I preach a little bit more better, as I kind of use this picture as an opening into really some new presence in the world, because that's what this painting feels like to me. I'm just going to have a new kind of presence in the world, and it's going to carry some good Mother Mary energy. So, and part of that, of really opening up into the willingness to change and the willingness to be more of who I really am, I feel so much better. Just like it's just easier and easier and easier and easier for me to really identify, you know, my own psychology that gets in the way of my personal growth, and to change it. I have a long ways to go. But it's all about awareness, isn't it? Okay, folks, I'm going to do one more layer of the blue. Anyways, it feels good to do this. I've been in my male brain with my Bright Spot Communities work, being all businessy, being all bold and businessy. And then I like to come here and be all soft and open. Where's my number one? One. New beginnings. All around. What is wrong with me tonight? Oh my God. It's like I don't know how to do. Crapola. Crapola. My dad, just FYI, I never heard him swear, ever. I think once he might have said, damn, maybe. But in all my life, I never heard my dad swear. All right. I think we're kind of done. I'm going to do a little more painting. Anyways, I'm just here sharing a little Georgia. I got to get a poem up there because it's National Poetry Month and it's National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And I've got some new poems in my book. This is significant. B. Because I keep getting messages that I just need to be. I just need to be. I just need to be what is moving through me that feels life-giving. And that is my road. All right, something else might go on here, but for now, we're good. One more level. And then the next video, we'll have another opportunity for rambling and learning. I have so many videos I want to do. I love doing videos. I just love doing them. I love sharing my energy with the world. That's what it is. It makes me really happy. And I have also decided one last thing. My kids always laugh at me, okay, just FYI. It's pretty regular for me to go, okay, everybody, I've decided something. And I have decided one last thing, and that is I'm really gonna believe. I'm really gonna believe that I'm limitless. And I'm really starting to get that. And any tiny mind thinking I have, and tiny mind thinking, of course, is when you're afraid, when you're in denial, when you know, just tiny mind thinking is always about fear. You can't be limitless in tiny mind. And I'm really starting to understand that it's true. And I see it more and more. The more I open myself up to who I really am, and the less I listen to the story of who I've been. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening. Maybe it helps. Maybe it helps. Either way, paint. Do something creative.